Welcome everybody to this episode of RoadKill Projects. And today begins the build of the granny cart. This is a build idea that me and Sean came up with a while ago, taking the legran and making it into a go-kart and off-road it on the sand dunes, which we are going to do for an episode. And yeah, we're not going to build it in the actual episode because we're going to be building a completely different car up in that episode. That's because we're not just bringing the granny cart out off-roading, but currently the bull-eyed cart is also getting a complete makeover. So, 2 new vehicles that are going to be coming up in an episode of RoadKill. So, what we're going to do before we send this thing off to a chassis shop to get the cage built onto it and some other little things done to it, and then we're going to start to build the motor for it. We're going to beat this thing to death. We're going to kill it, we're going to kill the motor, and see what we can do to it. And the first thing that I want to do is get rid of the bumper. And that apparently damages the head gasket. Lovely. And the trans doesn't shift. This car sucks. This thing has been sitting around for years in the back lot. Probably over a year, actually, just waiting for its time to get an episode. And it's finally time to make that happen. Oh my god. This thing is kind of terrible. Oh, it's nuking itself. That's what I wanted to happen. Drifting. Come on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Ah, the engine seized. What did this thing have in it? Did this thing, well, it doesn't matter what if it has a hood anymore because the whole body's going. Oh, that's the little 4-cylinder. Alright, well, time to pack this thing up on a trailer, and probably in about a week or two, we will see this thing back here, and we will continue the build of the granny cart. Alright, after the long wait here, it's back, and here it is. The granny cart. Now, this isn't a legran anymore. The only thing that is basically left of a legran is the floorboards, a dashboard, and frame. And even just parts of the floorboard. It's not the full floorboard anymore. This thing has basically just become a go-kart. It probably weighs nothing. We're going to see if we can weigh this thing, which I'm excited to try. But let's see if it shoots flames already. Now, I didn't adjust the rev limiter yet or anything, so there's going to be a little bit of over rev damage. But it doesn't matter because we can always steal the engine that was going to be going in a different car for this thing anyways. So, yeah. Doesn't matter with this thing. Now, it's time to try burnouts. And it seems like that's going to be pretty easy. Wow, this thing sucks. It has no handling. This thing is not tuned yet at all. Yeah, this thing spins the tires pretty bad. And it pulls pretty hard too. Yeah, I don't want to go too nuts. Man, wonder if it spins the tires all the way to third gear. Yep. I don't think this thing has a radiator on it yet, so I gotta be a little careful. Yeah, there's no cooling on it yet because it's just getting hotter and hotter. Well. This is just the best thing to do. It's all weird. Okay. Well, we'll shut it off here. Let's begin building this thing. So already there's not really much to do with the rear end since it is a limited slip rear end that's already put into it. Of course, we got to put a wang on it. There's no doubt about that. Now, there is a turbo kit coming for this car. We do not have a turbo kit yet for this car. So, there's not going to be a turbo kit for this thing yet. We're going to be putting a supercharger on this thing, but it's still going to look pretty cool with the supercharger, so yeah. Now, where we're going to bring this thing afterwards is that we're actually going to road trip this thing out to LA, and we're going to go to the drag strip and see how fast we can make it go off of the supercharger. Simple enough. Not that much to do, just, you know, building the engine, getting the engine all built and ready and not about to explode. So, yeah. We're going to put a stage 2 supercharger on it, even though this thing already spins the tires up to third gear. And as of for the headers, we're just going to straight pipe them with zoomies. There you go. Zoomies coming right out where the hood would be. Now, to be shocking, we're not actually putting a nitrous kit in this car yet. You know what? I don't feel like that stage 2 supercharger's enough, so Stage 3. Yeah. That looks fitting. We also need a radiator. Let's see the option for one, and we're going to put the super radiator in it because I know that this thing will overheat at every chance it gets. Yeah, that all seems to be good. Now, I'm not going to be doing the suspension in this episode either. There's going to be a lot of off-camera prep for the actual episode with the off-roading that we're going to be doing with it. Because me and Sean are going to take this thing to the dunes, and we're going to put it up against the bull-eyed cart and see how well they do in the dunes. So, yeah. The only thing that I want to do is to head into the tuning, reset all the alignment. Even though I don't think it's going to reset it at all. No. No. Let me just take the camber off of that. Camber just positive 20. Jesus, what the fuck? What is wrong with this car? Tire pressure, no offset. Alright, RPM cut. So if it's... I'll have it shift at 5,500. I think that will be a little bit better for the engine. Now, let's see what it does. Does it have a supercharger line? No, it's still over rev. It's still revving the 6 grand. I need to put the drag radials in the back of this thing already. That's the one thing that I was planning on doing, is road tripping this thing all the way there with drag radials. Still spins in 4th gear. Oh my god. Wow. Now I can say the rear end is a little light, because I mean there's nothing back there, and the wing doesn't really do anything upwards of like 60 miles an hour, so yeah. This thing is going to need some sand tires if it's going to be able to do anything in the sand. just see for the hell of it. Yep, it's just spinning the tires. That's not. I don't know, I think I am going to be doing the race suspension in this episode. Because the alignment's bad. I need to put the drag tires on it. That's a must. Jesus. It wants to shift too, that's the thing. This thing is like the transmission out of the Rotson or something before I put the V8 in. Alright, yeah. This thing needs a little more work than expected. It's just starting to turn into Ernesto here too. Alright, well for the motor, it didn't even save my adjustments. Are you kidding me? This game is weird. Maybe now the thing will actually handle it kind of better and shift better. Not rev all the way to 6,000 RPM. I don't think it recognized it. Is this thing bugged? No, it recognized it. Oh yeah. No more over rev risk. Well, I think I'm still gonna do the suspension on this and everything, so we're gonna cut to tomorrow to where we're finally gonna go on our adventure. Alright, so it's now 2 days later. Doing the suspension work for this thing was a lot more complicated than I thought. But we're finally out here in LA. We're here for the last day of a drag event that's going on at the West Coast track. And this thing runs like butter. Now I didn't get the car aligned. We have some things to do on the car before we get to the track. But yeah, it's early morning as you can tell. And this is an interesting car to drive. Basically because it's a roll cage and that's it. But I'm gonna get the car aligned here and we're gonna head straight to the track. But I want to have a little bit of fun blasting it around roads here. This thing is a lot of power. I don't actually know how much power this car is making. This is just, you know, taking the car and going, basically. That's a neat little touch. I'm just gonna glide. There's crickets and shit. That's a neat little touch. That's new to the game. I didn't know that they added crickets and stuff that'll chirp when it's darker out. That's awesome. God, the poor skinnies. I'm flying around. These skinnies are gonna be bald. There's flames popping out of the zoomies. This thing is ridiculous. I'm gonna dump the clutch here. Builds in the boost pretty well. Oh my god. That's a hard launch. It's very hard. Alright, well, I'm gonna get the car aligned and we'll get over to the track and make a few passes. Alright, so here is the... Huh, that's a weird message to get. Well, here is the scale. We're going to weigh this thing and see how much it weighs. Oh. Does the scale not work anymore? Reset to 0? End. I guess we're gonna have to save that for another time, because I don't know what's wrong with the scale. That's weird. Alright, well, let's make the first pass in this thing. And I think it's gonna launch better, because seemingly from a roll, this car was launching a lot better. But I think from a dig, I think it's still gonna shake and kind of wheel hop a little bit. So, see how well it can do a burnout with drag slicks on the back. That actually wasn't that bad. That actually ran really well. That is surprising. The car actually hooked really well. That's fantastic. Car does still seem to pull a little bit. But that was a pretty solid run. Let's try another run here. Then I'll let the car cool off for a bit. And maybe figure out the scale. 130 miles an hour in the quarter mile. That seemed really good. The car with the supercharger performs phenomenally. I cannot imagine how it's going to perform with a turbo kit. That's going to be even better. Alright, well, I'm going to try to figure out the scale here, because I really do want to know how much this little sucker weighs, because it probably weighs under 2,000 pounds. My guess is going to be around 1,950 to 1,800 pounds. I think it's going to be around in there for the weight. But I'm going to try to figure out this scale, so I'll be right back. So, to end off the episode, I let the car cool down and I decided, why not throw a 100 shot of nitrous on this thing? Of course, Beam had to crash, but I'm still gonna do it. Just to see what the hell will happen. Alright, also the scale, I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know how to use it. If somebody knows, let me know. But yeah, here's the burnout. Too close. Not yet. There we go. 140 in the quarter mile. Extra 10 mile an hour. That is awesome. Well, that was a little harsh. It's because the nitrous is still on. This thing is nuts. That's all I gotta say. And for the actual episode of RoadKill, it's gonna be getting a twin turbo kit. know, just to see how much it's making with the supercharger, I'll throw up the torque graph just to show the torque curve and everything, and I'll do one last pass on nitrous. Apps, this. No way. It's only making 620 off of, or 463 off the blower. Oh, this thing has to weigh like 1,800 pounds. Because this thing feels like it is 800 horsepower. Easy, but on the nitrous it's making about 600 and 900 pound-feet of torque. Wow. You can definitely tell where the boost kicks in around 2,500 RPM. You can make this thing kind of do a stoppie. Alright, nitrous. Yeah. $140 again. That is incredible. I'm surprised that this thing makes so little power, but it goes so fast, and this is just off of a blower. The turbo kit, I'm at least projecting that this thing is going to have 1,000 horsepower. Easily in the 900s to 1,000. And if I'm putting I think I'm only going to go to a 150 shot on this thing. You know what? Screw it. Let's try a 150 shot with the blower. I think that'll push the torque up to 950. And we'll probably make about 640 to 650 in the power. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? For the hell of it. This thing is more reliable than General Hawk already. And it goes 140 in the quarter mile. And it's running off a pity power compared to what General Hawk makes. So, yeah. 150 shot. Oh, is it doing this bug again? Yeah, I don't know what this bug is, to where the app just keeps showing the same horsepower reading. Oh my god. 1,000 foot-pound of torque. Alright, this might break the drive shaft. my god. This thing launches too harshly to even do anything. This thing can probably go 150 if I tune the suspension right. I think I might too. I think I might just throw a tune in the suspension real quick. I might throw the numbers that I have on General Hawk, which I'm no longer putting up. I did the episode with General Hawk, and it ended with me blowing up the motor. So yeah, it's all fixed now. It wasn't nothing simple. It's just that I scorched the block and the rings came out of there, or the rings came out of the seal, which isn't good. But yeah, thanks to an automatic transmission and overheating. But that's all taken care of now. It has a new radiator and everything. So car's fixed. Just, I don't know. Didn't feel like that good of an episode. This feels way better. Alright, let me get the picture. If I still have the picture? I do still have the picture. Okay. You're damping with the 7500. I'm just gonna go to 1,000. No, 95. Yeah, that feels safer. And spring height 15. Why? Maybe it'll launch a little bit better. Oh yeah. Definitely stiffens everything up, so it'll be able to put down the power a lot better. Oh yeah. Alright, nitrous. Definitely driving the car, it feels a lot better, but launching it from a dig on a prepped surface, no, too much. Probably need to take air out of the tires, but I'm not going to do more because I think this thing is pretty solid for what it's going to be. I don't want to go messing with the suspension anymore because I'm going to have to soften it for when we take this thing to the dunes. And probably get a reinforced drive shaft for the most part because going over the dunes is not going to be happy for the drive shaft with sand tires and 1,000 horsepower and 1,000 foot-pound of torque when the turbo kit is put onto this thing. But there you go. Here's the granny cart. The start of our second go-kart. This is going to be my next new thing for season 4. I only make go-karts. I've yet to make a car wheelie this season. Well, then again, I've been thinking of doing an episode with the wheelie truck for projects, so we might see some wheelies before episode 30. But, yeah, there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.